Ambulante border. Well, many things have happened with Ambulante and with the festival, with the tour, and we realize what an interesting. What an interesting, I don't want to say weapon, what an interesting tool, that's what I want to say. Can cinema be, a tool of change in many ways? It can raise the right questions, it can start a debate, it can definitely connect people with stories that are probably happening just next door, but that we're not willing to see or we're not aware of. We tend to live like this, and we're living a reality in this country that all of us, we truly believe it needs to change soon, immediately. There's a war happening here, and there's many people have been killed there, and there's no hope. We don't see a way out. And a year ago, we started talking about the idea of using Ambulante to start a debate with the community in the States on what things we can do together, to change the reality here. Because everyone says this. It's a shared responsibility. This war is happening because it's not just because of a country. It's because of a whole continent, and the way we're dealing with an issue that we all have. The whole thing of Ambulante Border is to make sure Ambulante is not an event that just lasts while it's traveling these 3 months through Mexico, but something that can be used the whole year, to reflect in whatever worries us. And to me, there's nothing today, there's no other topic that we should be discussing but this war, but these losses, but this amount of pain that the people is going through, and this amount of violence that we're getting used to, and that's very scary. I just hope we never completely get used to this, and that we always allow ourselves to get affected by what's going on in this country. The film is waiting in a hard drive for me to come back. We are still editing the film, and there's a lot to do now. I still have to shoot a few scenes, from the time when he was fasting. Michael Peña, who's the actor and did a fantastic job, is now losing weight to do this. And I'm editing and enjoying a lot the process. It's a huge film. It's has nothing to do with what I did before, and it's a beautiful challenge. And I'm surrounded by very talented people, and I'm taking my time. I don't want to rush anything. I guess the amount of time I was spending in California, the little I knew about him, the necessity of a story like this that can bring hope to a community that needs to know the power they have. The amount of prejudice that we Mexicans have about Mexican Americans, that Americans have about Mexican Americans. It's a community in between, in a limbo, and very interesting to analyze. And also I believe that it's important, if one day things are gonna change in terms of the relation of our two countries, and in terms of the relation of such a poor country with such a rich one, it's by the memory. We can't forget the stories that have happened. Otherwise, we're gonna keep falling into the same mistakes over and over. And the situation today on the fields, the situation today with the migration, the situation today with the relation of this powerful structure, with a reality of surviving, it's even much more complicated than what it was in the 60s and 70s. So I think a story like Chavez can bring hope to a community. I don't know. I don't like saying I do Mexican cinema, or Mexican cinema as a concept. In fact, is quite weak, because Mexican cinema today is not living from selling tickets. You know, it comes from the cinema we're shooting. The cinema that is being shot in Mexico gets financed by funds, by tax policies, by crazy people investing money knowing they're never going to get it back. So the relation of many of these films is not with the audience, you know. It's and that's a big mistake, I believe, you know. So if I would have to talk about Mexican cinema, I would get very depressed. But if I talk about Mexican filmmakers, I get very excited, because I think there's a lot of talent in this country. And the big difference today is that those filmmakers are doing films just for a much more universal audience, if you want to say it that way, you know. We shoot films to travel with our films, and to meet people we don't know, and to hear stories we didn't know existed, you know.